Hello everyone. It's the continuation of the previous lecture about the molar mass determination of polymers, right? There are two ways to determine the molar mass. There are two methods, two different types of methods. Number one method is the absolute method, and another one is the relative method. Absolute method mein we're not using any kind of a calculations. We're just considering the universal constant and the data we will get, and then we are multiplying them and using different formulas. We are getting the information, right? Like you can use the universal constant like Avogadro's number, universal gas constant, or things like that. While in case of a relative method, we need to calibrate them and we need to use the reference, and then relate it with the reference material, and then we end up with any kind of a conclusion, right? And then if you consider the types of absolute methods, there are various type of absolute method to determine the molecular mass of the polymer. The first one is the n group analysis. Then we have the spectroscopic method. Then we have the mass spectrometry, and afterwards we have ultracentrifugation. Then we have light scattering method to determine the molecular mass. Then we have osmometry. Then we have colligative properties. There are different type of colligative properties. Depression, freezing point, elevation, the boiling point, and then we have the depression in vapor pressure, right? Okay, if you consider the relative method, in the relative method we again have different types to determine the molecular mass of a polymer. Number first method is a solution viscosity analysis. Second one is a gel permeation chromatography, which is called GPC. And then we can use size exclusion chromatography, which is called SEC, to determine the molecular mass of polymers, right? Okay, now I will explain the each method one by one. If you consider the first one is the n group analysis, right? In n group analysis we're usually doing what we're quantifying and identifying the n groups, right, of the polymer, right? The formula that we're using is Mn is equals to 100 E multiplied by Z divided by small e. Small is indicating the number of n groups in per 100 grams. Usually we are taking it in a percentage, right? Then E is the molecular weight of the n group, and Z is the number of n groups in the sample, right? So Z is the number and E is the molecular weight, and 100 is the constant, and the small is the number of n groups, right? We can do it into the two ways, right? Multiple ways actually, right? But generally we're using it in two ways: chemical and the physical method, right? The first method is the potentiometric titration. The second one is elemental analysis. Then we can use a spectroscopic analysis, IR or UV or NMR, right? In this way we are getting the data to consider the number of the molecular weight of the n group, right? And we are just focusing on the identification and the quantification of n groups, and through that we are calculating the molecular mass of our polymer. Okay, next one is the osmometry method, right? Which is also called the membrane method, right? In this method we're finding the osmotic pressure of the solutions. We need to prepare the different solution of the polymeric material. Like if you have prepared a polymer, then you need to make the different concentration of the solution, and then you need to find out the osmotic pressure of each concentration, right? And then you need to draw a graph between osmotic pressure and the concentration, right? And so we are using specific relationship for it. Osmotic pressure divided by concentration is equals to RT over the molecular mass, and number average molecular mass plus A2 by C, okay? And A2 is the viral coefficient and C is the concentration, right? We are drawing the graph between osmotic pressure divided by concentration, right, versus concentration, and we will get the intercept, and intercept is equals to RT over number average molecular weight. And through with the help of an intercept, intercept is equals to RT over Mn, and by rearranging the formula we can replace is we can place the molecular mass in the one end and the intercept below, right? So by rearranging the formula we can find out the Mn value through the intercept of this graph. Okay, and then next we have colligative properties to determine the molecular weight of the polymer, right? And we have three different types of for colligative properties, like lowering of vapor pressure, which is the most commonly used technique to determine the molecular mass. Then we have elevation of a boiling point and depression and a freezing point, right? What we need to do, you need to again we need to prepare the different solutions of different concentration and find out the vapor pressure of these concentration and plot their graph against concentration, right? We're using this expression delta T over Kc is equals to 1 over number average molecular weight plus A2C, right? And delta T is a variation of temperature in determining the vapor pressure of the solutions, right? So it's the initial and the final temperature. So that's why we're taking the T2 minus T1. We're taking it as a delta T, right? And which is, and K is the constant, which depends on the cell and the density of the solution, right? And C is the concentration, right? So in this way we are doing what we are coding by using the equation. We are drawing a graph between concentration versus delta T over Kc, right? And by getting the intercept, we are with the by drawing this graph, we are getting the intercept as 1 over mn, number average molecular weight, and we can find out we can rearrange it, and by mn is equals to 1 over intercept, right? So in this way we are getting the molecular mass of it. Then the next method is light scattering method. We are finding the multiple parameters into it. We need to find the refractive index and the angle and the concentration, right? While the angle and the concentration are independent variable, right? Here we're using again a relationship which is called Kc over r angle. Theta, there's a specific angle that we need to consider, right? It depends on the refractive index and the concentration of the solution, right? Then according to this relationship, we are using 2A2C plus 3A2C, and then this goes on. This equation goes on actually. Acha. Now the one more thing is the K. K value is a very important one because K values depend on the the change in refractive index and the change in concentration. And small is indicating the refractive index, right? So we are considering the variation in refractive index and concentration with the help of a K, right? And we are drawing the graph, and while the r is a really in ratio and the p should be equal, right? So low angle lasers scattering also be used because we're usually taking the angle as a 1, right? So here we can draw the graph, and with the help of a slope and intercept we can find out the value of molecular weight. But this time we're not getting the number average molecular weight, but we are getting the weight average molecular weight of a polymer, right? So if we're using the low angle laser light scattering, whenever we are considering the low angle like near to 1, so automatically that is equals to 1, right? So we are reducing this factor as 1. Here in this equation you can see that this, right? So whenever we are considering this as a 1, right, so we can replace make this point clear, right? So it's become easy and simplify the equation whenever you are considering a low angle laser light scattering, right? So this factors automatically disappear here because its values become 1. We're assuming that its value become 1, right? So in this way we can find out with the help of a graph we can find out the value of molecular mass.